Hey guys, GOREbeast here. This is my very first video on my channel that I'm calling GOREviews because I'm GOREbeast. Little info about what I'll be doing here, a little overview. I will be reviewing or recommending mostly books and movies, sometimes music, but not every time. Generally, I'll probably have a book and a movie almost every episode, I would say, but not always music. And these releases won't always be brand new things. Sometimes they will be. Sometimes they'll be old releases. Maybe something that I just absolutely love and feel that it hasn't been talked about enough, or something old that gets re-released in a new version or upgraded version. So with that said, let's jump right into it. And don't forget, if you like this video, please hit the like button below. Also, please subscribe. If you dislike it, go ahead, hit the dislike button. You won't hurt my feelings. Maybe a little. Also, drop some comments down below if you like what you see. If you don't like what you see, tell me what you like, what you don't like. If you want me to review something or talk about something, or if you think that there's something I may like that I've never seen or heard or read, drop me a comment below. So with all that said, all that out of the way, let's start with the first item on our list, which is a book by an author I'm very familiar with. Some of you may know if you're avid readers and you're into horror. Over the past 10 years or so, he's been around, releasing pretty consistently. Sometimes I have trouble with words. It's okay. So does Donald Trump. Oops. My first book here is All Hallows Dead by Bryan Smith. Bryan Smith. Now, Bryan Smith, again, many of you may be familiar with him already, but I'm talking about this one because Halloween's coming up. It's October, and obviously, if you couldn't tell from the jack-o'-lantern on the cover and the title, All Hallows Dead, Halloween is a central ingredient to the plot of this novel. Now, Bryan Smith, he's had a lot of books that I've really, really enjoyed. Some of his books are top-notch. This is one of the better ones, and if you like slasher books or films, pick this up. Amazon.com, you can get it very easily there. I recommend Bryan Smith in general, not just this novel. And also check him out on social media. He's on Twitter, he's on Facebook. Again, it's Bryan Smith. He'll engage with fans. Ask him for a book to recommend of one of his. And he may recommend this one because it is Halloween. And again, back to the book itself. Slasher guy, as a kid, is bullied by these guys, and they do horrible, horrible things to him, and it messes him up for life. And years later, therapy and drugs fail, and he snaps and goes on a murderous rampage. And boy, does he kill a lot of people. A lot. Which is his goal. Now, he is getting revenge on the guys who wronged him as a kid, but he also kills a lot of other people along the way. Sometimes it's like, why is he killing that person? But again, he snapped, so there really doesn't have to be a reason. Lots of gore, creative kills, some pretty graphic sex. Bryan Smith is known as a hardcore horror author. He's up there with, my favorite hardcore horror author, Edward Lee. I have yet to read anyone who's as extreme as him. He is just filthy, filthy, disgusting, and depraved, and I love every word he writes. But back to Brian Smith's book, All Hallows Dead. Very good read. It won't take you long. You should head to Amazon, pick it up. If you're looking for something to read for the Halloween season, I know I was tired of reading the same couple of books that I read every year. I was like, let's read something different. So I picked this one up, and I was not disappointed. It's a good, fun, quick read. If you're into hardcore horror, again, if you're not, then this obviously isn't for you. But if you're going to watch my channel, you're going to get a lot of that type of subject on this channel, so you might want to not subscribe if that's not your thing. But I hope you like it, and I hope you will subscribe. So moving right along to the next item is a film. It's an older film, a few decades old, by a very well-known horror director, Italian horror director. Started off doing giallo films, which, if you know what that is, that's kind of like a murder mystery, but like hyper-sexual and violent. It's an Italian term. This guy is one of the godfathers of Italian horror cinema, Lucio Fulci. If you don't know who he is, wow, you need to do your homework and check out some of his films. Start with The Beyond and Zombie and House by the Cemetery. Films like that, and that'll lead you down the rabbit hole and you will be sucked right in. But we're going to talk about one of his earlier giallo films, which is Don't Torture a Duckling. I know there's a big glare on there, and I apologize for that, but you can probably at least read the title. This was released by Arrow Video, who are top-notch in this field. Their releases are lovingly restored audio, sound. They're the same thing. Audio and video. They pack it with extras. Every one of their releases is just packed to the gills with special features, commentaries, interviews. Sometimes they'll have like little mini documentaries, and Don't Torture a Duckling is no exception. It looks and sounds fantastic. Tons and tons of extras, commentaries, interviews with people involved in the film. I'm not going to get too much into the plot of the film because I don't want to give anything away. You need to see that. But Don't Torture a Duckling by Lucio Fulci. You definitely should pick it up. Amazon.com has it readily available. It's a brand new release, but it's an older film, as I said. A classic Fulci release. You need to see it. Go buy it. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about today, and again, as I said, I'm not always going to recommend music so much. More mainly, I'm going to focus on books and movies, but every once in a while I'll hit you with some music. And today I'm going to do that. It's a brand new release by this artist. Artist has the same name as their band. If you can't guess from that, this artist was recently performing and some stage props fell on him and injured him, and he had to cancel the show and some subsequent shows. I'm not sure if he's still in the hospital. I don't know what his condition is. Anyway, I'm talking about none other than Marilyn Manson, the band and the man. His newest album, Heaven Upside Down, which I'll stop right there real quick to talk about the original title, which was Satan, S-A-Y 10, Satan, get it? I like that title better. There is a track on the album called Satan, and he just made a video for it, and it's something else. And apparently Johnny Depp is in the video. Not apparently, he is, because Depp and Marilyn Manson are friends. This isn't the first time they've collaborated. But anyway, the album itself, if you're a fan of Marilyn Manson, you should definitely check it out. Some of the tracks have that older, early Manson fan sound. Older Manson fan, yeah, right. Older Manson sound. You know, some of the songs are more like the things he's been putting out the last few albums. It's kind of like a mix. My biggest problem with this album is there are not enough tracks. It's only 10 tracks, pretty lean. The runtime's decent, but it's only 10 tracks. Generally, I like albums to have more tracks so there's more variety to the songs, because sometimes I like to skip songs, but when there's less tracks I feel that I shouldn't skip them. That's just a personal gripe. It's not a rip on the quality of the music itself. The album's really good if you're a Manson fan, or if like the past few albums you've been kind of you should pick this one up. I think you'll be a reinvigorated Manson fan. So definitely check that out. Or if you want a sample, you can easily go check the Say 10 music video out on YouTube. Very easy to find. I mean, you just type in Marilyn Manson and you'll find it. So that's about it for today. Again, I'm GOREbeast. This is GOREviews. Please hit like if you're at all interested in anything I said in this video. Also, please subscribe and share this video so that others can see it, and maybe they'll be introduced to something they may otherwise not have known about. And that's really what I'm trying to do here. Is not always will I do more obscure stuff, but sometimes, you know, the average horror fan or modern horror fan may not know as much as some others. I don't even know everything. People are telling me movies all the time that I've never heard of, and I check them out and I'm like, how did I miss this for the last 30 years? So that's my goal with this whole thing. Again, please hit the subscribe button below. If you like this video, hit like. Tell your friends, share the video. And until next time, this is GOREbeast on GOREviews. I'll see you next time.